landing, but I have full control over the air launch when I fly, and you can see it later. And 100% mixed with the rudder, because I still, again, I need more movement there. Then what else do we set up? I think for the setup, that's it, right? Yeah. Okay, any questions about the last bit? Let's see what's the next.
Yeah. This is a baseline. It's actually more than I would have thought. I don't have it set up at all.
Yeah, it's let's say 3-4 millimeters.
And down, I see it's just
Yeah, same.
All these mixed
Yeah, it's
3-4 millimeters each way in cruise, let's say.
In all modes.
In all modes. Okay.
Yeah, even in Zoom, right? So I have it.
Trying to decouple all the controls.
You need to set different in different mode.
Okay.
The same.
It's a little slightly different. So usually in thermal you have a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Because in the whole point when you fly in thermal mode, you want to increase the lift coefficient of the wing. You want to fly higher or climb higher, or sorry, climb faster.
Faster.
So you have a little bit more, and then you use a little bit less elevator as well. Like when I fly, the amount of elevator I use is
This skill itself, right? Like to
half a stick
be able
maybe.
to do it properly.
Like most of the time. Sometimes I use more, but most of the time like just a little
You don't get in
correction.
the way.
And yeah, and I use rudder a lot.
You just want to do what you want when you want. You don't want to think.
Again, we'll talk about that when we talk about thermal.
No, you can't really do that.
Not possible.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Let's see what else. Okay, now we can start talking about lunch. Like not eat lunch. Lunch. And yeah, I'll put the other. I'll drink some water and I'll put this model in the charge, and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Pushing. I'll start from the basics. So when you launch, you hold the peg. Like some people do this. Like usually beginners, they do this. That's the last thing you want to do, because that's, if you hold it like this, you are guaranteed to break the wing or the tail or something. Because when you launch, you'll snap something. Like you want the model to be kind of free to do its thing. If it's windy and the model wants to go up, like if you hold it like this, you'll break the wing. So you definitely don't want to do that. What you do want to do is just to hold it like this. Like I never grab the ball like that ever, and I never lift it like this as well, because I will break the wing. So you always launch with your finger pads, and if you want to lift the model, you can put your finger on the leading edge and lift it like this. This is okay, but lifting it like this, you'll break the wing. So don't do that. The other thing you don't want to do is when you turn or launch, like to hold the handle, the hand. Like no, like you always want to straight, like this. The elbow has to be fixed. Like you don't do this, because you'll break something. So you always stretch the hand, and the elbow is always straight. So when you launch, you hold the model, okay, and the hand is always straight. Like whatever you do. Once you start spinning, the model will lift on its own, so you don't have to worry about the model touching the ground. Because like, as soon as you start walking, you do something, but I don't do anything. I just hold it with my hand, with my fingers. That's kind of the basics. When you launch, so when you let go of the model, you want to let go into the wind. Sorry, against the wind, straight, and preferably like not up, definitely not down. So you want to launch straight and level. I don't do that unintentionally. I think I do, but I don't, which I guess it's okay. But again, there's no right or wrong here. It's like each person has his own style, And then as for the launch itself, it's easy to say that you want it to flow and kind of feel the energy and release it when you need to. In reality, it's really hard to do. It's just a matter of practicing more and more and more, knowing your model, more knowing yourself. So you want your, like, you don't want to force the motion. So if your steps are kind of, I don't know, they don't feel right, and then you're like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, push it anyway. You're gonna launch low, or you're gonna launch into the ground, or tip strike. That will happen. Like, it's really important to have that thing kind of flow. I don't know how to explain it any better.
The big problem with trying to throw up is you're more likely to get switched to the back.
Yes.
Everybody follows the arc.
Yeah. So some people me included, especially when you can see it really well when it's windy. So if you're there, and then you do this. So if you're not tall like Ivan or you, so you will do this and you tip strike and your model is gone. I mean, I will do that. it can happen to me. Like I'm a short guy.
That's why if you think level,
Exactly.
level, even when you're throwing up a little bit, you think level.
Yes.
You avoid that backswing.
Yeah. So before launching, like, you decide where you want to launch. You pick a direction. So let's say that white house over there, right? So right now it seems like a reasonable direction. So I looked at the white house before I launch, and I know that I'm aiming over there. Like, after I finish my circle, I aim to launch my model to the house. So again, I start with the model like a little bit to the back, like this, to kind of stretch my my body a little bit. I do my first few steps, and then the last 180 degrees. That's where the launch actually happens, because that's when you want to use your hips and some of your shoulder to really launch. So I would do this. Like, I would use my hips to give me that extra power, because the hips have a lot of power in them. The shoulder and the arms not so much, but it kind of helps. And even if you don't use your shoulder, it's fine. Like, you can still use your hip. And like right now, my hand, like, it's dangling. Like, I'm not doing anything. I can do this, and I will launch almost the same height. So most of your power comes from your hips, your legs. So you really want to plant your, if I'm a right-handed, so I want to plant my right foot into the ground and use it to turn. And then I launch, and again, I always look, like, when I finish my launch, I always look at where I want to launch this. So that white house. So I will look at the house when I finish my circle. I look at the house, and I launch my model into the house. I don't care about what it will do, because I know my preset. Like, with my preset, the model will pitch up. Like, I don't look at it. I don't care. Some people, they kind of try to do this. They look at the model, and then they screw up the launch, and they start brake, like, before they release the model. So all of that energy and power goes away.
Ivan and I don't get it. Spinning the wrong way. the other reason for not launching up is because
so watch the video in reverse.
The other reason for not launching up is all that hip drive only goes this way. If you try to go up, all that hip drive is just totally wasted. Can you explain that to Joseph Doherty, though?
What, sorry?
Joe, he launches up like crazy.
Yes, but
But
he's
it works
tall.
for him.
He's tall.
Somehow he makes it work.
The guy that was here with Tom the other
Yeah.
day, and he launched so high, and
Yeah.
it seemed so effortless. Like, it's just the first time I saw him launching it, like, okay, that was not, holy shit, that went high.
Yeah. So some people, like the bigger guys, they don't spin fast at all. They're not agile. Like, they're fat. Don't want to name them. You know what I name them? So they have a lot of like explosive energy. So they don't spin fast, but then the last 180, they just explode. And like Toby Herrera, who used to play baseball, I think. I mean, when you see him launch, Tom was here, when Tom really felt his launch. Like, he will destroy anything he hits. And Tom knows that really well. So yeah, like, again, some people, again, I'm not agile anymore. I used to be more agile, not anymore. So I kind of, over time, I developed in my subconscious, like, kind of the same thing. So all of my launch power comes from the last one. That's when I just explode again. have like let's see, it's not very athletic, not as quick. It all comes from him. So I would launch and the key thing is not not to stop before you launch. Like, don't do this. Like, never do this because all of that energy is breaking your heart. Like, even like touch the other shoulder. It's not that way. If you grab it like this, grab it too hard, you will be slayed, so it won't go out. So you always want it to go into the wind. And then yeah, prepare like the preset and all, you will do the rest. Like, knows what to do. And people when they start flying, they say, oh, I will have it like little launches. Safe. No, it's actually reactive something happens. So you don't want to launch as strong as possible, as hard as possible, but you want to have like a moderate launch so that you will have another a second or so to react if something happens and let the model do its thing. And then yeah, I mean, we can after this we can kind of work on like I worked with you guys on launching. You can do that last week. Does it differently, but all the other people around the world,
Everybody else knows.
Yeah, it does it differently. Yeah, so I have my launch preset, so I hold it, I do my spin, and then as soon as I let go, and it's a matter of getting used to like the timing and everything, but not more than half a second, I let go, and the model goes into zoom. So in the launch preset, the model will do this. So I launch. It does this. I let it go. It goes up like it goes up straight, and then when I see that it's about to lose its energy, I push down. Then the model will push down, and from there I keep flying.
Full push.
Full push. Okay, so I'll demonstrate with the weak launch. Now I'm aiming at that house over there. Practicing and getting used to, but having the right technique is really important, because if you don't have that, it doesn't matter how strong you are or how big you are, you won't be able to launch high. And yeah, again, just a matter of practice. Many questions about launching. But yeah, so one more thing that I found was really helped. So when I release the model, so if you do this and you kind of stop, like you don't lift your leg, you're stopping the energy, like you're not doing it right. So what I found myself doing is that when I launch, especially when I launch hard, I do this, and I use my leg to like I throw myself forward, like to give it like again to release the energy with the model, and then by lifting the leg this way, I kind of balance myself not to fall forward. was a guy in Germany who used to launch so hard. So after he launches, he did another turn. Yeah.
Did that work out?
Martin Herring. What?
Going higher than anyone else?
Yeah. Yeah, back then, yeah. I mean, but he's really athletic. But he's tall, German, muscly, and very agile guy. He was probably, I think, one of the most elegant. Like he was flying the most. His flying style was the most elegant I've ever seen. Like launching and flying, it was just like German precision. Yeah, he stopped flying a few years ago, unfortunately. His brother just won the F3B. Yeah, his brother won the F3B. Yeah, so I do this and I just throw myself forward. Because I give all the energy that I can to the model. And then that's about it. And again, tall guys, you have the advantage. You have a longer arm.
Many guys do a tight rotation.
What do you mean?
No step, no run, just
Some
spin.
Some step. Again, that's the thing. For some, it kind of flows better if they do the few steps. Like for me, for some, like Joe Doherty, like he just like
Okay.
there's no problem.
Or does he spin? Or just
No,
toss?
he spins.
Tight.
But then when he tosses, it looks like completely effortless. Like effortless, and he launches like 75 meters.
Sound a little.
But he's tall, like he's as tall as you guys. I mean, it's probably a little bit more agile, so he has that extra speed. And you would see other guys like Europeans, they're more agile than we are, and they're younger. So you would see when they launch, if you look at pictures, I remember pictures of Croatian guy Nikola. So just before launching, like his shoulder, like his hand is here, right? His palm is here, his face is here, and he almost touches, like, it's just unbelievable. And then all of that, he's like and he's super skinny, he's really skinny, and he's tall, so he's like a spring, and it just explodes at once. He launches super high. But for him, with ballast, he cannot launch high because he doesn't have the power, the energy. So you would see him like launch a normal plane, like over 70 meters every single time. But then when he puts it with ballast, it will drop drastically. But he's still a pretty good pilot.
Running help.
Maybe. Again, it's a matter of flow. Like if it kind of helps with like 140 kilometers per hour. That was again older models, heavier, more draggy. Today it's probably 150, 160 because they're more slick and I got better at this. So if you run it like what 5 meters per second. So
Well, the thing
won't
is, though,
look much.
you weigh, whatever you weigh. The idea
Yeah.
is you're putting that energy in
Yeah.
kind of like when you're falling over, you're taking that 5 kilometer an hour running it and throwing it all into the air.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah, I mean, it's not nothing. It helps a little bit. But if it makes you do this whole this flow better, absolutely, like do that. Again, some people don't do it at all. Like Joe Doherty, he just stands there and just like.
Michael Stern is somebody who he transfers. He runs a lot, and he's a little guy, right?
Yeah.
He sort of transfers that speed into
Yeah.
the airplane.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all different launch styles.
Martin Herrick, same thing. He doesn't have a spin. Like he used to run. He launches and he does another spin because he can't stop himself.
I cannot run high if I do not run.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, no problem. Whatever works. There's again with everything I said today. There's no like right or wrong. It's not written in stone. This what works for me. For some people it works a little bit differently. Like again, CG. Like I prefer the CG this way. Americans like it really aft. Europeans or Croatians like it really forward. And you know, it works for both, so it's fine. You got any questions about launching? Okay. Let's say you're a beginner. You want to fly with somebody, because if you're alone, you always say, oh, there's no thermals, there's no air. The thermal disappeared, but then when you fly with others, you see that, hey, it didn't disappear, it's still there, I wasn't in the thermal.
You're playing thermal, right? Yes, it can. I've proved that my plane was not broken. I was certain it was broken.
Yeah.
He fixed it.
Yeah, so with thermaling, the most important thing is to know the model. So you, instead of flying the latest and greatest model, like the latest design that is 1.5% better than the previous design, you want to know your model, like to be able to get 100% performance out of that model. That, like, if you have an old model like Snipe, some people know it, they fly it for over 10 years, they know it really well, they will outfly almost anybody else with the newest model. Vortex or PCX, it doesn't matter, because they know it by heart. Like Joe works, like he flies his Snipe like nobody else. Or even you son flies the Yoda like nobody else. Like Joe Worth himself said that he never planned for the Yoda to fly the way you son is flying it. It outperforms what it's supposed to do. So it really helps, because when you fly in air and you get into a thermal, you see the like you're familiar with the behavior of the model, and it makes you more comfortable, like getting into the thermal, knowing where the thermal is relative to the plane. Some models they signal by, like if the thermal is here, so some models they will roll to the right, so you know, oh okay, if the model behaves this way, I want to go the other way, and you're in a thermal. Some models like this, like the Vortex, it will pitch up. So when I near a thermal, it will pitch up and it will accelerate a lot. I don't know why, but that's how it is. But you need to know that, and that's where you kind of start circling, or if you see others, you kind of start circling, and then that's where practice really helps. So when you're circling, most people, they just say, oh, I'm a thermal, I'm circling, and not thinking about it, and then the thermal throws them out, and they're like, oh, the thermal is done, and I'm landing. So while you're circling, you have to keep thinking. It's like, okay, like looking at the plane. So when you do your circle, you can kind of divide your circle into 8 slices, and then you want to look at which slice the model climbs higher. Because say that the core is here, and you're circling here. So you will hear you fly normally, and then when you hit the thermal a little bit, you'll see the plane just kind of climbs. So you'll say, oh, like at this quadrant, that's where I climb a little bit better. So your next circle, you want to make like not a circle, you want to make an oval to correct like into that air. And then once you see that you're climbing the entire time, then you know, like, oh, you're like right in the center or close enough to the center, and you're climbing all the time. But even then, like the thermal moves and you move, and the wind pushes you away. So all the time when you circle, you want to keep looking for that slice where it climbs better, and that can be a little bit hard to do sometimes. But it's a matter of practicing again and again and again. And
the more you move the sticks, the less you can do what he's talking about, because you have to let the plane fly.
Exactly. Yeah, let the plane fly. So when you're thermaling, you have to use both of your hands. So you use your ailerons to maintain a constant bank angle, or the bank angle that you want, and then with the rudder, you push your nose like into the turn or a little bit outside of the turn, usually into the turn. So if you see the plane kind of doesn't really turn that well, you would when I fly, I almost always have the rudder into the turn, even just a little bit, sometimes a little bit more. It depends on what radius I want. But I always use both my hands. So I maintain my bank angle with the ailerons, and then with the rudder, I keep the circle either like tighter or more open. That's the rudder control. And then your speed control, because when you're in thermal, you want to fly a little bit slower, not too slow. You want to fly a little bit slower because you want to stay in that air as much as possible. So with the elevator is your speed control. It's not your altitude, it's your speed control. So if you see it fly too fast, you want to touch the up elevator just a little bit to maintain constant speed. And the thing that you look at is not ground speed, you're looking at airspeed. So in air like this, when it's a little bit windy, you look like you're flying like this, like oval, and then you'll say like, oh no, I'm doing an oval, I'm not circling. But that's not true, because the model doesn't know that there's wind. Like, it moves with the mass. So when you follow the model, even though it looks like it's flying like this, when you're circling like this, it doesn't. Like when you look at the model inside the mass of air, it does perfect circles. So don't worry about like this. You just, again, you want to keep looking at for that quadrant, like for that slice where the model climbs better, and always correct to that. And again, don't move your sticks too much if you don't need to, because that's drag and the model will not talk to you, like it will not signal you well, because you're interrupting all the time.
Can you give me some perspective on percentage aileron, percentage rudder? That's hard. Like, is it 50-50?
I would say ailerons, not more than 30 usually, and rudder, the Vortex 5 needs more rudder input because the rudder itself is smaller, so 30 to 50% maybe.
Wow, okay, that much.
Yeah. Again, it depends on the air. It depends on how tight I want, because sometimes the thermals are really tight, so you want that really tight turn. So your bank angle is going to be like 45 degrees and a lot of rudder input and a lot of elevator input, and you have to like really do tight circles. Today, like it's a great day. You could do like nice big turns. You can really explore thermal because they're pretty wide. The intervals between thermal is really small, so if you lost one, you're gonna find another one like really fast. So this is a good day to practice those things, especially if you have a few more pilots. So if you see somebody in the thermal, and let's say you're flying with them, and then you see that he climbs better. So first of all, you know that okay, his location is better, so you can correct to him, like towards his side. And while you do that, kind of look at what your plane is doing and where it climbs better.
That can be a mistake sometimes watching other models.
Well, again, you need to be aware of many things when you fly. I mean, if you're circling and he's circling, then you're climbing better than him. Forget about him. But if it's the other way around, and you see like he like after 20 seconds he's higher than you, so you know that you're not in good, like he's in a better spot. So
never leave the thermal you're in.
That too. If you're well, I'm saying when you're in the same mass, like mass of air. If like you're flying here and he's flying there, it doesn't matter. Like it's irrelevant. But when you fly close to him, or somebody else, or a few other people, so you can see which area is better. Sometimes it can be your area. Just stay put and keep yourself out of trouble and not hit anybody. But if you see others climb a little bit better, so you never stop circling. You keep circling, but just like open your circle towards them, but never stop circling. When you're in air, if you're just cruising, obviously you just go there directly. In a field like this, when the wind is blowing, let's say that way, it's perfect, because if you see somebody far away, what's the worst that can happen? Like if you chase him, you'll go for a little walk. That's about it. If the wind is blowing that way, you don't want to do that. But take those risks. Like push yourself. That's something that contests really help with, because you have to push yourself. And again, going to one contest is equivalent to like 3 or 4 months of practice. Again, in thermaling, that's what. When you're in air, just looking for that maximum lift, like where is it, and trying to correct there. If you spilled out of it, so make a bigger circle, like increase your circle radius, and then see where the thermal, where did it go. Sometimes it just disappeared, it dissipated, that happens. But yeah, again, if you lost it, just increase the radius and look for it again, because it's there somewhere. It didn't go away, but it's there. You just need to find it again. And then when you fly and the thermal is here, and then you see that your molecule will do this, you're like, oh, okay, so now you can make, instead of doing this, so you can make your circle a bit tighter and get into the thermal. It's easy to say, I know, but it's hard to do in reality. But that's what you want to practice.
In a contest, if you call it, that's their job, basically.
Exactly.
Tell you, you watch your model and they watch their model. They try to suggest, things sometimes.
Yeah. So so the helper is very important in the contest, because he needs to know you and you need to trust him. If you have a helper that knows how you fly, and you trust him that he'll tell you, go there, fly. You go, and you know that he's not going to send you like the sink. So that kind of cooperation between the two of you, that's the key between like getting into the fly-offs and not getting to the fly-offs. If you don't have the trust, because you're always going to question him, and then you're going to look at where he tells you to fly. So you wait another 2 or 3 seconds, and then if it's windy, let's say 2 or 3 seconds, that's all it takes to make a decision that a good or bad decision. So if you decide to stay in that area and you don't trust your caller, you might lose your time because you didn't trust him or a person. Anything else about thermaling?
So you guys
You gotta
always
always be aware of when you make a hole. So even if you're in a thermal, it's not climbing quickly enough, going further away than it's going up. You gotta bail on it. In fact, always be back.
Yeah. But on the other hand, when you see,
Particularly when you're like over the
yeah. So here, yes, but on a field like this, when it's completely open and you fly that way, and you see like you launch and you're getting low, but you see people thermal there, and you know that you can get there at a decent height.
Yeah.
Like it's signaled there. Most people, they will fly halfway, won't get anything, and fly back. And then you didn't catch a thermal, you lost your altitude, and you might not come back. But if the thermal is there, it's there. So fly there, take the risk. Like especially in practice, take the risk. Go there.
You take this.
Yeah, like don't be afraid, because it will develop your confidence. You'll increase your confidence for the next few times. So yeah, you'll take a few walks downwind to grab your model, but then from time to time you'll get there, you'll catch the thermal, and you'll climb and you'll come back.
There's a thermal right there.
Yeah, exactly.
When you launch, you should have an idea what you're going to do. Even if it's wrong, you should have an idea. You just get popped up and now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You're wasting.
Yeah, and then for example, knowing where not to fly, that's as important. So if you see a bunch of people here, like the whole gang in the contest, everybody here, and then you see they're doing like nothing's happening there, so why fly there? Well, because everybody are there, that's like peer pressure, and most people will probably fly there. But if there's nothing, like what's the point? So fly elsewhere, because you know that there's nothing here. So what's the point of flying there? There's no thermal. So fly elsewhere. If you see somebody who's like floating or maybe showing something, yes, definitely go there. But if you know there's nothing, like why you waste your time? Yeah, I would say that's about thermaling. Anything else?
So again, when you guys are approaching a thermal,
Yeah.
you always lead in with a bank.
Yes.
You change your bank angle and you apply rudder basically.
I would say so. Yes. I use my rudder a lot. Like
Because I'm always I use a lot of elevator for some reason. I'm trying to make the turn with the elevator, so I usually end up stalling a lot.
Yeah.
And for some reason I can't help myself.
That could be trimmed.
That could be trimmed.
Yeah, maybe your tail head.
And then the elevator is your speed control.
Yeah, because you mentioned that. But it still doesn't feel like it's very hard for me to.
If you are banked, you need elevator. Because you need, when you're banked, you need to make more lift than you level. So do need elevator when you're banking.
Yeah, but you want to maintain constant speed,
Yeah.
but also you need to be aware when you're banked, your speed has to be higher, because otherwise you will stall. Your stall speed is now higher. When you fly with ballast, your stall speed is higher, so you want to fly faster. And again, air speed, not ground speed. Like the model when it flies, I don't know, have you ever flown a full-scale glider? Yeah, so when you fly, you don't know if there's wind. Like it's all like your airspeed is 50 knots. That's all you know. And if you look down, you're drifting backwards. That happened to me. Yeah. So you have to push. But the point is that the model doesn't know that it's windy. Like ground speed doesn't matter. Like in the air, it's all one mass moving together.
So obviously today we have a breeze.
That's a breeze, yes.
Will you be on a field on a different type of a day and will you feel a thermal pull by you?
Oh, even
and that's
today.
not wind, it's a pulling thermal?
Absolutely. I mean, in the morning, every gust that you felt, it was a thermal. So right now, the wind died down, and now it's picking up again. So there's probably a thermal like right here, and then in a few seconds you'll feel a gust pulling that way, like a strong gust. So that means the thermal just passed us. The thermal, it sucks air to it. So on a windy day, okay, when it's constant wind and then you feel that the wind dies down, that means that there's something upwind that's pulling that wind, that massive air towards it. So you know that the thermal is probably somewhere upwind. That's where the streamer comes in handy. Okay, so now there's a gust. The thermal just passed by. It's somewhere here. It's like 90% chance that it's there. Another thing is looking at the streamer. Again, right now I'm looking with my body, so don't do that. So you can do this. So you see the wind is going this way, and now it's going that way. So that means that there's something that's pulling the air that way. So there was a thermal here, and now it changed again. So the thermal probably moved from there, it moved over there. So you want to look at the wind intensity, like rapid changes. That's usually like a very obvious signal, and the wind direction as well. Like even if it's constant wind, that's like on a windy day. Like for me, that's almost the only thing that for me, the only way to read the air. Which is probably it's really hard. Like it's really hard to read the air. So right now there's nothing, but I know that there was a thermal that was passing us because the wind died down. The wind direction changed, like from this direction to that direction. So okay, there's something upwind that was pulling the air, reducing the wind. Then the streamer pointed that way. There was a gust. So like many small signals that point to me that the thermal is right there. And it's probably like right now it's moving. And now the wind direction changed again, and there's a gust. There's another thermal right there. That's what you want to look for. Another. Again, the best thing is somebody who's doing thermal. I mean, it can be that. A bird or something flies, there's like fluffs. Another signal that is a little bit harder to read, but on a calmer day, you can see the grass, so you might see the bushes like these don't move, and then all of a sudden you can see here, like these move radically, and then it kind of moves. It's like a ghost. It's like something is like shaking the bushes. So it's normal. But everything else is calm, and something is over here. And vice versa as well. If it's really windy, when you see everything moves, and then all of a sudden like one spot is like suddenly tree branches. It doesn't move, but everything else. Last week it was really excited because it was fairly calm. And then all of a sudden you see them move a lot, like just like one portion, like 10 meters, just moving. And, it was, and that portion that was moving was moving with the air mass. along the road, so you can actually see the thermal. Dust devils. Again, don't have it in Canada, but there's no dust. Over there, yes, yeah, okay.
Off that field,
Yeah, exactly. So you would see that like in the desert. That's like amazing. Like you just see the thermal form. You can see the shape of it, like that it's really narrow on the bottom, and how it grows and how it spills with the wind. So it's not like nice straight cone. It's really like this, and you will really see it. Like when you see dust devils, big ones. Again, in Canada you don't see it as much. If you go to, I guess, Arizona, you'll definitely see that. And you see the shape of the thermal, and it's really obvious, like really easy to read.
When you're trying to join a thermal, that's like the shape. It's probably joining the wall.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of like a lava lamp in a way, like the shape, because it starts like small, and when it increases, like it, I don't know, picks up energy and it spreads. Yeah, I mean, for us it's irrelevant, but these clouds are great. That's annoying. Yeah, there's a bird over there right now, so it's not circling yet, but you kind of look at it and see what it does and follow it. Even though she's far away, and she's climbing, so there's a thermal over there. So signals like that. That's what you're looking for.
So the clouds for us, it's irrelevant.
It's a little bit, yeah, because we're way below the clouds.
With the real glider, you can tell where they are.
Oh yeah. With the real glider, like you can see the
shape of
you
it.
can see the corridor. So that line.
You see the corridor.
Yeah, I mean here you can see it here. It's really obvious. Like that corridor, this whole way, like you will fly, no problem.
Low battery.
Really? Here's better. So you can see flags, people putting like poles with streamers, all kinds of stuff. So you would see again line of tents, right? So let's say each tent has a flag or something. So you would see that they all blow, let's say that way, and then all of a sudden you see the ones here, you see the flags are kind of starting to blow this way, and the next one will shift this way, and so on and so on. Just like with the bushes, so you know, okay, there's a thermal there that's passing by. Or you see all the flags are down, and then all of a sudden like one flag starts to pick up something, and then the other one starts to pick up something. That's like an obvious sign for thermal. That's what people are always looking for. Like everything on the ground that moves, bugs. Sometimes you would see like they fly, like jump and fly. That sometimes it's a signal for a thermal. I'm not sure why, but I've seen it more than once. Maybe not here because it probably killed them. You would see that.
Not so much here.
Yeah, here.
More in the southwest, you get little barn swallows, and they'll they'll follow you.
Yeah, it's like thing. They'll come around. It's really cool. Yeah, and then ballast. That's another kind of complicated subject. So you want ballast coming in to the back. But you want to ballast not for the wind. You want to ballast for the thermals more than the wind. If it's a good day like today, you have lots of thermals, and it's a little windy, put as much as you want because the thermals are strong. There's lots of them. The interval is really small. They're close by. They're close to again between thermals. The distance is really small, so you will probably catch something. So be as heavy as you want. But if you fly in Germany, it's really windy. There's no lift. There's no sun. It's all really light. Then you have to be really accurate with the ballast that you put in the model. And that's where kind of your experience and knowing the model comes in handy because if you know how to push your model or like fly it really efficiently, you can probably fly like slightly heavier. But you don't want to be too heavy, because otherwise you won't be able to climb. And that happened to me in Germany more than once. I was just too heavy. But the wind was so strong that I had to come back, and kind of you want to know how to push your model to come back. That's actually another topic, is pushing your model from downwind on a windy day. So technically you can find it speed mode, put the nose down, the sharp angle, and come back. There's a good chance you will land out if you do that, because you're just wasting your energy. You're converting it from altitude to drag. What you want to do is to keep the nose down a little bit, again, a few degrees, and it depends on the wind and the thermal and all of that. So you put your nose down and you keep it at a fairly shallow angle. You just maintain that angle. The model, even though it seems like it's coming back slow, it will come back eventually. It will come back with plenty of altitude to spare. So more efficiently. If, for example, you fly and let's say it's windy as it is right now, but then you're far away. All of a sudden, you feel like a huge gust of air, huge gust that was passing through. This means that this gust is on the way to you, which means that you might not come back. That happened in Germany to several people. When you see that happen, when there's like a very strong gust, you want to come back. Like you turn around and you put your nose down and you try to cover as much ground as possible before the gust hits you, because once it hits you, you're kind of stuck. So you want to get as close as possible to the field. That's like a strategy. So when you fly, you always have to think what's happening. This gust right now, this gust is not because of snow, but because the clouds cover the sun. So it just picked up the wind, not just the gust. I don't think there's a problem there. Maybe I'm wrong. But you always have to think. Like when you fly, you always think, okay, what's next? What's happening around me? What's the wind? What's the direction? Is it changing? Is there a gust? If right now we have shadow, there's a better chance of forming there than here. Kind of stuff like that. There's always stuff to think of, and I probably didn't cover some of that. With other people that really helped, and finding a contest that really helped.
I think that's way back is not the direct route.
That,
if your
yes.
sure sink is right between you and the model,
Yeah.
you might be better off going to the left or to the right to fly through the not sink that you know is there.
Yeah. So in Romania, it actually happened to fly over. So I was really far away between me and I was like 800 meters away. Between me, like the field and the model, I was starting to come back, and my helper told me that there's a sink. Around that sink, and I came back with a little bit of altitude, but I came back and they let it out. Right? Yeah, so that's where a helper is really handy, because he looks at everything other than you. Like he has the last priority, unless you need help. So he says, okay, fly there or don't fly there, but there's nothing there, so fly the other way.
Yeah, but if you're in the sink area, like it's naturally there's some uprising air next to it, right?
Probably, but
Because it usually
downwind of it.
Hope Springs Eternal.
You could be on the front edge. You're in the thermal, and then you realize, okay, I got to come home now. And you're coming back to the sink that's falling. And maybe nothing. Screwed.
yeah, and you don't want to.
You end up in the
You don't want to stay in that sink. Like you don't want to circle there to look for the thermal, because you're in sync. So you sink fast. When you're in sync, just put the nose down and get out of it as soon as possible. Just push out of it. The less time you spend in sync, the better.
No attitude.
That's one of the best things I always don't come back on the left or don't come back on the right. You see the models that are sinking out,
don't send them that direction. Send them in different direction.
Actually, you did that to me in
It can't
Germany.
be wrong. Like your different direction, it's not going to be any worse than what you see probably. But that's guaranteed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like Mickey, the American team manager said, that people have a tendency to find sink and they keep circling and they confirm that the sink is there. You know. So yes, don't do that. And I think Ivan he helped me a couple of times in Germany and in one of the rounds. But that was exactly it. Like he told me, like, don't fly there. Yeah, that was enough.
Sometimes like this with the corn, if you're over in that corner, you're going that way, and you're thinking that come back over here instead of over here, just so you make the field short of this.
Hey, you don't want to look for you don't want to look for your model in the corner.
It's the same thing with the box. Sometimes the box will be, and you'll be in the one corner of the box, and all you have to do is get back in the box to your points, and aim for the closest point in the box to where you were, right? Where you are. You just may not make it to you. You pick the wrong way.
One question.
Yeah.
How to circling above the tree?
I have no idea.
Tree. On the tree.
Surfing the trees, so you always want to be in front of them, definitely not behind, because behind there's a rotor and you will fall and they will suck you in. You want to be in front, but there is a sweet spot in front of the trees that you might even climb and you can maintain there for 10 minutes or 20 minutes if the wind direction is right. Like in Germany we had that, when the wind direction was right, you could, like, people stay there for 10 minutes just going back and forth. If the wind direction was a little bit off, nothing. So again, this tent, for example, you can probably surf this tent as well, or the cars, like anything. Like the cars, this road over here, even though the elevation is what, not even a meter. Yeah, there's almost always, like, if you fly above the road, you always feel like a bump. No, I mean,
No battery. Run. Be careful, no battery.
Slightest interruptus.
like it's buoyant. Like, I'm not climbing. Right now I'm descending, but when I fly above the road, there's always like some bump. Maybe this wind direction is a little bit off. I feel like I'm not losing a lot of altitude here. There we go. You see? This might be a thermal, maybe not. I don't know.
No battery. No battery.
Yeah, it's not a thermal.
No battery.
So you see, like, it gives me like some lift. I'm not losing altitude. Okay, this is a thermal.
No battery. 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 No battery.
Have to land now.
The first time that someone was helping me accomplish with F3J, he was trying to teach me how to read books because I was reading it. So I'd be going into a descendant area.
Yeah, I'll have some lunch and then we can practice launches and flying and stuff like that.